The Kingdom of My Divine Will in the Midst of Creatures. Book of Heaven, Volume 36, Part 14. October 12th, 1938. One who lives abandoned in God finds in Him her paternity, refuge, and hiding place. The Fiat as support and life of the whole creation. How God winds up one who lives in it. I am in the arms of the divine volition, although under the nightmare of the hardest sufferings, so as to move to pity the whole heaven, and make it run to my rescue, to give me strength in such a painful state. My Jesus, help me. Do not abandon me. I feel like succumbing. How hard my state is. As I was saying this, my sweet Jesus, more tenderly than the most tender mother, stretched his arms out to me and squeezed me, and uniting his tears to mine, all goodness told me, "Poor daughter of mine, your pains are mine, and I suffer together with you. Therefore courage, abandon yourself in me, and you will find the strength for your sufferings." The soul who abandons herself in me grows like a baby who is kept under the care of his mommy, who swaddles him to let his members be strengthened, feeds him with her milk, holds him in her arms, kisses him, caresses him, and if he cries, she mixes her tears with those of her baby. So the mother is the life of her baby? Oh, if the little one did not have his mother, how badly he would grow without the one who feeds him with her milk, without clothing, without her warmth. He would grow sickly, weak, and lonely. Only a miracle can make him survive. Such is the soul who lives abandoned in my arms. She has her Jesus, who is more than a mother for her. I feed her with the milk of my graces. I swaddle her with the light of my will, so that she may be strengthened and confirmed in good. I keep her cuddled to my chest, so that she may feel only my love and the ardent beats of my heart. I rock her in my arms. If she cries, I cry with her, so that I feel my life as being more hers, while she grows together with me, and I do with her what I want. On the other hand, one who does not live abandoned in me lives as though isolated, without milk, with nobody to take care of her existence. The soul who lives abandoned in me finds the refuge from her sufferings, the hiding place in which to hide, so that nobody can touch her. If anybody wants to touch her, I will know how to defend her, because touching the one who loves me is even more than touching myself. I hide her in me, and I confound those who want to strike the one who loves me. I love the one who lives abandoned in me, so much that I make of her the greatest portent, so as to astonish the whole of heaven, and to leave all confused those who believed they could strike her, and leave her covered by shame and humiliation. Let us not add this to the many pains we already suffer, since it would be the most painful one. You, not living all abandoned in me, and I in you. My daughter, let them say and do, as long as they don't touch our union. Nobody can enter into our secrets, in the abysses of my love, nor can they stop me from doing what I want with my creatures. Let us live, one will, and all things will be fine between you and me. Then he added, with even more tender love, my blessed daughter, my Fiat is the support of the whole creation. Everything is placed upon it. There is nothing that is not animated by its power. If it weren't for my Fiat, all things, even the creatures, would be nothing other than many painted pictures, or inanimate statues, incapable of generating, vegetating, or reproducing any good. Poor creation, if it wasn't for my will, and still they don't want to recognize it. What great pain, being the life of all, and feeling suffocated in things created by us, because they do not know us. What bitterness! If it weren't for our love, and if we were able to change, we would withdraw our will from everyone and everything, and all would be reduced to nothing. However, since we are immutable, and we know with certainty that our will shall be known, wanted, loved, and that everyone will possess it more than their own life, we wait for it to be recognized with invincible patience, a patience that only our divinity can possess. All this we do with judgment and our highest wisdom, since we do not do useless things. If we do, it is because we want our reward, which is receiving glory and honor from all our works, even from the most tiny little flower in the field. If this was not the case, we would be like a god who didn't know how to appreciate or to give the right value to our works. Therefore, it is our justice that our will be known as life of all, so that we fulfill the scope for which we made the whole creation. Now, you must know that as the creature wants to do our will and enters it, she remains rehabilitated in it. She is rehabilitated in sanctity, in purity, in love. She rises again in the beauty and in the scope with which we created her, dissolving all the evils of the human will. She starts the life of good. As soon as my will sees that the soul wants to live in it, it does like one does with the clock that is not working. By winding it, it starts ticking. showing the hours and the minutes, becoming the guide of man's days. In the same way, my will, as she enters it, seeing her stopped in the good of the human will, gives her a divine winding, so that the whole being, human and spiritual, feels the new life and the virtue of this winding by which she feels invested. This divine winding runs in the mind, in the heartbeat, in everything, so that, with irresistible strength, she runs in all that is holy and good. This winding ticks the minutes and the eternal hours of the divine life in the soul. Oh, how she runs in all that is divine! We rehabilitate her in everything. We let her run everywhere in the immensity of our sea, to do and take the things she wants. And although she cannot embrace all our immensity, she still lives in our sea, feeding herself on it, acquiring more of our beauty, wearing the clothes of our will. In our sea she finds rest, the chaste embraces of her Jesus, his reciprocal love, sharing with him joys and pains, and growing always in the good. My will becomes her life for her predominant passion. Our winding makes her run so much that she even forms her own little divine royal palace within our sea, which will be populated by the most holy Trinity, who delights in this fortunate creature, filling her always with new graces and gifts. Therefore, cherish in your heart to live in our Fiat, so that we may find in you the joys and the glory of the whole creation, the scope for which we created it. Fiat. October 26, 1938. The effects of disturbance. The little ill one in the divine will. One who lives in the divine will forms the support for her Creator. So the Holy Trinity secures its interests. My poor being feels the extreme need to live in the divine will. The bitterness and the pains that invade me are such that I feel as if they wanted to tear out the divine fiat from inside of me. I feel more than ever the desire to live in it. But with all the efforts I make to live abandoned in its arms, I still cannot do without feeling embittered, stunned, disturbed by the many troubles and hard pains that surround me, so much that I cannot take it any more. My Jesus, Celestial Mother, help me. Can't you see that I am about to succumb? If you don't hold me in your arms, if you don't continue to inundate me with the waves of your divine volition, I tremble and fear. What will happen to me? Please don't leave me. Don't abandon me to myself in such a hard state. But as I was thinking this, my always adorable Jesus ran to sustain me in his arms, and all goodness told me, "My good daughter, do not fear. Courage. I won't leave you. I cannot leave you. The chains of my love tie me to you and make us inseparable. But then why do you fear to be leaving my will? Just as to enter it, it took a firm, resolute act of wanting to live in it. In the same way, to get out of it, it would take another firm and resolute act. And you didn't do this. Neither will my daughter ever do it. Will you? All I want is that you do not let yourself be surprised by any disturbance. It pales you. It makes you lose freshness. It debilitates your strength. It makes you lose the liveliness of the light of the Fiat. So my love remains repressed. Attention loses its pace. And although you are in my will, you stay there as if inside a house in which you don't bother doing your duties. To decorate it, put it in order, and give it all the sumptuousness that befits it. So, being troubled like this in my will, you don't pay attention to receiving my creative and operating act. You are as if idle. But courage then, since your pains are because of me. We keep you in our will as the little ill one. I am the first who suffers with you, since your pains are mine, and I suffer more than you. I am like your nurse. I assist you. I make your bed out of my arms, and I place my pains around you to strengthen you. Our mother and queen runs to put you on her lap to protect her little ill daughter. Since one who operated in my will brought glory and joy to all heaven, all the angels and saints run around our little infirm one to assist her and serve her needs in our will. But they cannot enter into strange things that do not belong to us. Even the pains must be our pains. Otherwise they cannot find the way to enter them. Therefore, courage. All that I want is that you be at peace. How many times I too, under the press of hard pains, became infirm, and the angels ran to sustain me. Even my heavenly Father, in seeing me in excruciating pains, ran to me and took me in his arms to strengthen my groaning humanity. And how many times my mother fell ill in my will, in seeing the sufferings of her son, to the point of feeling as though dying. And I ran to sustain her, holding her to my heart, not letting her succumb. All I want is courage and peace. Don't trouble yourself too much, and I'll take care of everything. Then he added, "My daughter, You don't know yet all the good the creature receives by living in my will, and the great glory she gives to her Creator. Every act she does in it is a leaning of God on the creature, leaning His power of love and of sanctity. The more acts she repeats, the more we trust her, and the more we can lean on what is ours, since our will is there, giving capacity and strength to the creature to receive what we want to give. But if we do not find our will and her acts repeated in it, we do not know where to lean. She doesn't have strength, capacity, or the space in which to receive our gifts and graces, so that I can trust her. Poor creature without our will! She, the true citadel, without doors and without sentries to defend it, exposed to all the dangers. If we want to give, it would be like exposing our gifts and our very life to uselessness and to the danger of receiving offenses and ingratitude, so that they make us turn gifts and graces into chastisements. Therefore, you must know that when the creature does our will, we settle our interests. We never operate to our disadvantage. First, we secure the interests, our glory, and then we operate. Otherwise, it would be as if we didn't have heart for our sanctity, or as if we did not appreciate our gifts, or what we do, or as if we didn't know ourselves, our power, and our ability. Who would ever start an enterprise without first securing his interests? Nobody. It may happen that, by disgrace, his enterprise suffers some losses, but by having thought of securing his interests first, he won't have to leave his situation. He can maintain his status. But if he hadn't put his interests in a safe place, he could reduce himself to starvation. This is why we want the creature in our will, because we want to secure our concerns. What we give of love, sanctity, goodness, and all the rest. Our divine will takes charge of having them returned to us in as many divine acts. We gave divine love. She gives us divine love back. Our will transforms the creature into our sanctity and goodness, and makes her give us back holy and good acts. Therefore, even her breath, her motion, and her steps are pure and holy. We feel in her acts their similarity with ours, because they are rendered so by our will. So, when we receive from the creature what is ours, made divine by our fiat, our interest is settled. Our love celebrates, our glory triumphs, and we prepare new surprises of love, gifts, graces. When our interest is returned, We don't mind about anything. We abound so much that the heavens overflow. Fiat. October 30th, 1938. How we redouble our love to the creature who loves in our will. Astonishment of heaven. How the creature acquires the right to judge. My little walk in the divine will continues, even though it seems that I do it with difficulty, step after step. But my Jesus seems to be satisfied, as long as I don't deviate, getting out of his fiat. I can say that I am really ill, because of the many painful incidents of my poor existence. This is why he is happy with the little I do. However, he never stops pushing me and attracting me, telling me new surprises about his will, to make me restart my flight. So, visiting my little soul, he told me, "My blessed daughter of my will, how I yearn for the soul to live in our divine will. I am so pleased when she repeats her acts in it, that I go on preparing new gifts, graces, love, and knowledge, to make her know my will more and more, and to make her appreciate and esteem the celestial residence in which she had the great honor to reside. Therefore, if she loves, I redouble my love for her, and if she returns to love me, I always come back with new love to surprise her, so much so that the creature feels inundated and confused. She repeats, 'Is it possible that a God loves me so much?' And as she says so, taken by the ardor of my love, she returns to love me, and I again surprise her with my love. It is like a contest of love, the human smallness that harmonizes with the love of her Creator. And she doesn't love me only for herself. Her love is such that she loves me for everyone and everything. Then, what does my fiat do? By its power and immensity, it puts wings on this love we gave to the creature, making it soar everywhere. We feel that she loves us in each step, motion, thought, word, and heartbeat of all the creatures. She loves us in the sun, wind, air, and sea. There is nothing in which she does not love us. Oh, how happy and glorified we feel that the creature loves us in all and everywhere. For this, not only do we love her, but we love all creatures with new love. At an act of love in my will, such great prodigies happen that the heavens compete to be spectators and enjoy the new surprises of our love. Our very divinity waits with unspeakable joy for the creature to enter into our will to love us, to be able to show off our love, to feel loved by all. We unleash our love to become her life, and not only our love. As the creature goes repeating her acts in our fiat, we unleash new power, goodness, and wisdom, so that she will feel animated by new power, goodness, and wisdom. All will take part in it, and we will have the joy of seeing the human creatures being invested by our new power, goodness, and wisdom. What wouldn't we make of this creature who lives in our will? We even reach the extent of giving her the rights to judge together with us. And if we see that she suffers because the sinner is under a rigorous judgment, to soothe her pain, we mitigate our just chastisements. She makes us give the kiss of forgiveness. And to make her happy, we say to her, "Poor daughter, you are right. You are ours, and belong also to them. You feel in you the bonds of the human family. Therefore, you would want that we forgive everybody. We'll do as much as we can to please you, unless he despises or refuses our forgiveness. This creature in our will is the new Esther, wanting to rescue her peoples. Oh, how happy we are to keep her always with us in our will, because through her we feel more inclined to use mercy, to concede graces, to forgive the most obstinate sinners, and to lessen the pains of the purging souls. Poor daughter, she has a thought for everyone, and a pain similar to ours, seeing the human family swimming in our will without recognizing it, living in the middle of enemies, in the most wretched misery." Then he added, "My daughter, you must know that as the creature recognizes our will, she loves it, wanting to make her life in it. So she pours into her God, and God pours into her. With this pouring from both sides, God makes the creature his own, making her take part in all his acts, resting in her, feeding her, making her grow more and more in his acts. And the creature makes God her own, feeling him everywhere, taking her sweet rest in the one she loves and who forms her life. God is all for her. Further, as the creature does her act in our Fiat, we feel her bond with all created beings. In that act she wants to give us everyone and everything. It seems she makes all beings visit us, so all may recognize us, love us, and fulfill their duties towards their Creator. She makes up for all, loves for everyone and everything. Nothing can miss in one act done in our will. Otherwise, we cannot say it is our act. Our will, for decorum and honor, offers to the creature all that she should give us and do to us. It offers all the other creatures and the whole of creation as if it was her right. If we didn't find in our will, in which the creature operates, all the glory, honor, and the return we deserve for having given life to all, and for having created many things to maintain these lives, where could we find it? Our will is diffused in all. It is love and support for all. And our greatest glory is that the creature who lives in our will gives it the opportunity to make her do what each creature should do, to give of glory and compensation for having been created. We knew that the creature was limited. Her littleness couldn't give us either complete love or complete glory. Therefore, we exposed our divine being, the power of our will, in order to receive what was due to us. The creature living in our will was to be a guarantee of love and glory from all, through her. Therefore, these are the rights we demand, that she live in it. We demand rights of creation, of redemption, rights of power, justice, immensity, so that at least what she cannot do by herself, she does, united with our will. Then we can say, the creature loves us. She glorifies us as we want and deserve. Therefore, if you want to give us all, and love us for all, live always in my will. So we'll find everything, and our rights will be satisfied. Fiat. You have reached the end of the Book of Heaven, Volume 36, Part 14. Fiat.